Oh, well, it's a pretty, it's a good theme for the times, and I think certainly the two projects we awarded were very much within that, and the commendation we gave was to a very small, very tight primary school, which was an excellent example of making every single aspect of architecture work. Will do a huge amount of work, and also not therefore, but still pushing the architecture. So I think if it pulls away from pushing architectural ideas, it's a problem. But when every bit of a building is doing a huge amount of work on a number of levels, I think it's very important.
We tend to appreciate that type of the selection of the idea behind. I think for my money, I mean, I think it's wonderful. I'm not so sure that you have seen around here projects that are about less. That some of them, I mean, tend to do a lot more than they ought to. But that is also a particular moment in the culture, I think. I think the projects are tending, and you can see in the overall tendency of the younger generation, a tendency to the support of real, true architectural ideas rather than just, materiality or sort of form making for the sake of it. I mean, there's been a huge amount of incredibly interesting projects here that reflect that tendency, and I'm very glad to see it represented here.
I would have thought that projects that we are seeing now are the product of a different economy. Yeah. Architecture takes a long time, so any project that is completed now is probably projects that started pre-recession, unless they are very small. We're also seeing such a range of scale, and it's difficult to compare them. Less is a relative term, and so is more. It depends, where they are and what problems and what scale of issues they are trying to tackle. I don't know. In a way, I hope we don't get into these. I think architecture has to be discussed in a way case by case, and it should always do more with less. It should always, but we should also not limit ourselves to doing less.
That is the ethical taking on architecture. We have to spend less of everything in order to accomplish more, and because the resources of the ecosphere are limited. That is a very good slogan to have.
Well, of course, I'm a great unbeliever in less is more, a phrase coined by Thomas Aquinas in the 13th century, and then by Flaubert in the 19th century, and misquoted by Mies van der Rohe. Of course, as a postmodernist, I have to say, the truth is more is different. That's the phrase of postmodern physics and a self-organizing universe. You put more of anything into a system, and it jumps to a new level of organization. So less is more is not the real slogan. The universe is more is different. I don't think architects yet understand that truth of complexity theory, but I'm not here to lecture them on it. When they say less does more, they turn it into a verb, and they're looking at ways of harnessing technologies, materials, and economies to get more out of them and use less power, less energy, and that's a positive thing. But I'm old enough to remember Bucky Fuller and his quote to a woman, "Madam, how much does your house weigh?" And women don't like to be asked such questions, nor do men. And I think, we have to think within a greater spectrum. What nature tells us is there are many roads to sustainability. They're all different. And nature, if it had one patent, would have had one solution. So I would say more is different, and there are many more solutions to sustainability than we have dreamt of. Horatio.